I'm Merra Lee Moffitt, and I'm going to talk to you about Get Paid Now. So our first section is mindset over matters. But a lot of times, especially in an economy like this, we as business owners think our clients won't pay more. So if you run into a surprise, I was talking to a business owner yesterday who said that he had referred a company that was doing bug control, and they had gone out and taken down a wasp's nest that was embedded into the stucco of the house. And the wasp nest was so embedded that when they extracted it, they went and popped out a piece of the stucco. And the employee really, just left and didn't say anything to the homeowner and left a hole in the stucco. Well, that's the kind of problem where if you had just said to the client, hey, this is not a typical case, but here's what happened because this wasp's nest was there for so long. Now we have a hole in the stucco, so I need to charge you a little more to fix the stucco. And in most cases like that, if you explain it to the customer, they'll say, oh, sure. It's not like they're not writing you a blank check, but you can say that, here's what happened, and it's going to be an additional, $150 cost to patch the stucco. So those are some kind of things that we, and that's kind of an example that I'm trying to make here is our mindset. If it's like, oh, they know that's what we told them we were going to charge them this, and they think that we're done, and that's all that we'll be able to charge them for, no matter what they ask for. That creates it creates the mindset in our employees that when the client asks for something else, they feel like they have to say no, which does not really create a good ongoing client relationship. Or they do it and they don't charge extra, and now you're not profitable in your projects. So part of what happens for the small business owners that I work with is that they haven't set the expectations early on in the project. So if you're doing a project that's, say, a fixed bid, and you say, well, I'm going to charge you, $2,500 to fix your hardwood floors, for example, and in general that will be all that it costs, but I have to tell you that sometimes when we start finishing the floors, we get exposed nails, we get discolorations that it doesn't come out uniform, and if we run into some of these kinds of surprises, I may end up having to charge you more. So by setting the expectation of the project and you predispose the client to know that what things would be extra. With all of my clients who are small business owners, I strongly talk to them about building enough of an emergency reserve. So I know many of you guys have been through a very harsh recession. What I find is that the small business owners who don't have an emergency reserve, when they get to do a bid for a project, they're afraid that they're not going to get it. So they undercut their own prices, they try to do the lowest bid, and if they've built sufficient emergency reserve, they know that this deal, whether the client accepts it or not, is not going to make the difference between whether their mortgage gets paid. So that I try to coach my clients into things that they do so that they come into their projects and into their clients when they're making proposals, so that they have a position and an attitude of strength and success, because customers today want to deal with people that they know are positive, are going to be in business 10 years from now, and are growing. So I work with my clients to make sure that they are creating that kind of mindset. You control what comes out of your mouth. So if you say things that are positive, and you talk to your clients, your customers about the project and what it's going to do for them, you can build a stronger relationship, which we use to take someone who's a customer and help build them into a client. So a lot of times when I'm dealing with clients, my small business owner clients, we set up with them how do they turn their customer into a client by saying, oh, well, while I was here, I noticed that, like if you're an electrician, I noticed that some of these other light switches are broken. Why don't I come back and do those? The suggestive sell. Or with people who are like your hairdresser, who own hairdresser shops, we coach them just like your dentist. When you're there, you make the appointment for the next time you're going to come back. So you're building that follow-on sale. So those are the kinds of things that I work with my clients. And lastly, on this particular topic is that sometimes what I find is that people aren't charging enough for their services. For example, I have one client in the computer field, charges about $125 an hour, whereas another company that's not even as good as his company charges $175 an hour. And he thinks he's charging too much and is constantly looking for ways to cut his prices, not often realizing what the competitors are charging.